Everyone's feeding scripts into ChatGPT asking, make this better, and they're completely missing the point. You're literally sitting on a goldmine of competitor intelligence and using it like a basic grammar checker, which is wild. The real power isn't AI rewriting your content or even writing it for you. It's an AI decoding what actually works. Most creators analyze surface level metrics such as AVD, but completely disregard story patterns and audience psychology. They look at view counts and thumbnails, while ignoring the psychological triggers that make people click and stay. You've probably been doing this wrong too. I'm going to show you the exact process I use to reverse engineer any successful creator's formula. Not just guessing what works, actually extracting the blueprint. So let's do a live demo. So let's hop on a computer. Now I'm going to teach you how to use AI to break down and recreate scripts. Not recreate the exact same topic or idea, but what you're gonna do here, let me just open up 3 videos here, and what you can do is take their transcript and copy them and then ask AI to analyze it for you, and I'm going to show you how I prompt it to do so. And to get the transcript, you go to the description, press show transcript, and it should be here. Mine looks a little different because I'm using the next level tool, and what you can do is you could just scroll down, copy it all. What I actually like to do is I use the next level tool, and I don't do all that. I just press script and this pops out. I export and I copy transcript. And then I'm just going to paste that into Claude. And I'm going to take 1 and I'll take 2. I feel like 3 is great. I'll copy 3. And now that you have all 3 copy and pasted here, you can just write something like compare and contrast these 3 transcripts. Provide me the commonalities between their core elements and story structure. You ask them like, what would the target demographic be? Include the psychographic. What's the narrative tone? And while it takes time to do that, you can go back to the videos, and what I like to do, I would just like copy the comments, right? And be like, these are the comments on this channel. What's the demographic of the commenters, and are there any unique angles or things they want to learn more about? And I would do that for, let's say, like over here too. And this video has like 400 comments, so you don't even need to copy all of them. And you should know that commenters are just a subsection of all your viewers. They're like the vocal minority of your viewers, right? So anyways, even though the commenters are just a subsection of your overall demographic viewing the videos, it gives you kind of a good sense of like at least who's watching, especially on other people's channels actually. And sometimes I like farming the comments just for unique angles and whatnot. You could also do this with the next level tool. Here you can go to analyze comments. There's a comment analyzer, and I think it looks at all the comments, but I find that sometimes it's not nuanced enough. It'll give you kind of overall sentiment and then some feedback. So here you go. You get an idea of who the demographic is watching, and then when you make your script, you can target it towards this demographic if you want. And it's helpful. You can see what they're asking for, and if you see that the question is widely applicable, that is probably a good angle that you can cover in a future video, or at least like integrate it with a future video that you have, because it's going to give value to the audience that exists out there. So I really like farming comments. I really like farming scripts. And here's the interesting thing. After you farm your script, you get your target demographic. You can see how it matches up with the commenters. I would say it's pretty close. Like here, age profile 28-52, weighted towards 35-48. And this is just a much faster way of doing it than you just sitting there going through the comments one by one. Like you're like, this is a cool video. Okay, demographics aside, what you can do now that you have the story structure and core elements is that you can take a video idea. So let's say we take the video idea we had from here. It might not be a great idea, but let's just take it. Just copy and paste. Can you apply the story structure and core elements that we extracted above and help me create an outline? I would like to target the demographics you have mentioned previously as well. So something like that. And then you can start creating a script outline just based on this. You had your video concept, and now you're going to apply the story structure and common elements that make these videos work and just putting it all together. You could even just ask for a script outright, but personally, I like to create an outline first because you can iterate. It'll save you a bunch of reading, because if you just make a script outright and there's a lot of points that are wrong, you're just gonna have to rewrite your script. So I would fix it in the outline first and then create the script. But once you've created your script, go through it, write things in your own voice. That is the secret sauce. You should also delete what you don't want. Like, let's say I copy and pasted this into Google Docs. I'm like, I don't want to touch anything political. Boom. I press delete here, chapter 7 is gone. That's totally fine. Delete what you don't want to keep. Never just use what AI gives you straight up every step along the way. Add a little bit of yourself, do a little bit of thinking, and that's going to raise the quality and give your voice to your product at the very end. For the outline, you don't need to change too much, right? You just need to make sure it aligns with what you want in your script. When you have your script, that's when I read it through. I like to read it out loud and then do the editing. I think adding your own flair to the script is a non-negotiable. Just add your own anecdotes, what you think about, your own thoughts on the topic. And then that's where you really own the script, even though AI helps generate the skeleton of the structure for you. So now that we have a systematic approach for mining ideas, finding ideas, and for breaking down and then recreating scripts in our own way, the last part is just packaging. And here you are, you see a thumbnail that you really like. What you can do is you can screenshot it like that, and then I have it copied, and then I would just, you could paste it in to your AI again and just be like, what makes this thumbnail good? Just as simple as that. Or if you don't have a screenshot tool, you could also use Nextlove. There's literally a screenshot button there, or I could just copy thumbnail, and then it's copied to my clipboard. There's many ways to go about it, but I find the Nextlove tool, the Chrome extension, to be pretty handy dandy. Okay, really interesting. It can even identify who the person is, and then talks about the framing, the word choice. So if you don't know how to break down why a thumbnail is good, but as you're scrolling, you're like, oh, you know what? This one really caught my eye. Why? Just ask AI to explain it to you, because even if it's wrong, the good thing is you're going to start seeing what words, you can start seeing keywords it uses in its description. So you can be like, oh, framing and subject choice, these are all keywords that are probably important to the concept of thumbnails. So even if you don't trust AI's analysis, having it analyze a thumbnail helps you learn how to analyze a thumbnail. It helps you find the right words and what to look for. So AI gives you competitive speed and helps you get started when it's all feeling way too overwhelming. That crucial 80% of the work where you feel like it's an overwhelming amount of research that you have to do, it's pretty much completely cut down. You can use all that saved energy into the part where you do best, which is inserting your voice, inserting your creativity into the script, into what you're about to present. Sure, it might only sound like you're doing 20% of the work, but 80-20 rule. That 20% is the real driver of your content. It's what transforms generic content into something people want to stay around and watch. Basically, this isn't about replacing human creativity. It's about leveraging AI so you can focus on the creative elements that only you can do. All right, so here's the conclusion and some next steps. The main key insight is to stop asking AI to improve your scripts. Start asking it to decode successful ones. You're not looking for generic feedback. You're extracting psychological blueprints that actually drive engagement. Your homework is simple. Pick just one competitor who's successful in your niche. Take their video and go extract their transcript and have AI break it down for you. Run it through the exact process I showed you. Script analysis, comment analysis, and then synthesize your own outline from that. Spend the 30 minutes. The insights will blow your mind, or you'll learn at least one thing. If you want more AI workflows that actually move the needle instead of sounding impressive, hit subscribe. I test this stuff so you don't have to.